Hello, hello, what's up? It's your boy, Lonely Astro Boy from Modern Warfare. Today I'm going to watch this video from my boy, Inkslasher. And this is his honest opinion on Black Ops Cold War. So I'm very curious to what this guy has to say. So without any further ado, let's just get straight into it. We're going to raise up the volume a little bit on the video. And we're also going to lower the volume a little bit on the computer. So, alright, let's do it.
Ops Cold War multiplayer. We looked at weapons, score streaks, basically everything that is coming to the game. But what I've kind of avoided until this point is giving my overall opinion on the multiplayer. What I wanted to do is get all of the facts out to you guys, all of the information.
Okay,
and talk
he's
about
saying
the things that I
facts.
really like
So,
about the game. Talk
you better
about
bring
the
up the
things that I just
facts.
think are okay, and
Because
then talk
remember,
about the things that I dislike.
facts don't care about your
There are plenty
feelings.
of things that I dislike and definitely think can be made better before the game is actually released. And that's kind of why I'm making this as kind of a piece of constructive criticism that hopefully Treyarch can look at and go, we can fix that, we can't fix that. These are great things, let's amplify that, so on and so forth. And there's a lot to talk about here, so let's
There's
just
some
dive
things
in
they
right
can't
away
fix. I'm glad
and
he
start
acknowledges
talking
that.
about the things that I think are fantastic in Black Ops Cold War. So starting out with the good things, the first thing that I wanted to hammer home is I really like the new Create a Class system. I think that
Not
having
really
it
new,
the way
but
that they
okay.
do, where you don't necessarily have 10 slots and you can kind of make the class and the weapon that you want, is really fantastic. So the big thing, of course, there is Gunsmith, being able to choose the different attachments and basically
It's
the
like I
exact
said, not
attachments
really
to make your gun the way
new,
you want
but,
it was
like,
something that I
I
absolutely
guess.
loved in Modern
I like the
Warfare.
Gunsmith
You weren't
too.
limited by if you use too many attachments, you can't use perks, things along those lines. And because of this, you can make really great classes. I really like this, and I really like that they're implementing it within Black Ops Cold War. I also like the way that they're doing it, where they're showing us that certain attachments affect the weapon in very specific ways, showing us exact percentages for sprint out time, aim down
I see
sights,
what he's-
recoil, things
Yeah.
along those lines, and I
like
really
it
like
too.
to see
I like it the
that.
same way it
So
worked in
first of all,
Modern Warfare.
Gunsmith, I think they knocked out of the park. The Create a Class system is interesting. I'm a little bit worried that certain wild cards are going to be overpowered.
Yes.
For example, the one that
Yes, the 6 perk one.
lets you use 6 perks.
Yep, dude, that one looks scary as fuck because imagine having a good headset. Like mine's is cheap, but it's still Astro, so it's like $60. So imagine having a headset that you can hear audio and not being able to hear footsteps. Fuck, right? So it seems like they're gonna be constantly finishing you. If there's finishing moves on this game, it's gonna be consistent all the time, bro. Because you're not gonna hear shit. And then you also got the mini map. You know, they have a suppressor or ghost on. They won't show them on the map at all. So they're literally not even in the game unless you see them.
Seems really powerful compared to Danger Close, where you just get extra explosives. So we'll have to wait to see how that one's actually balanced. But as of right now, Create a Class is right up there. The next thing is
I have to point out that, dude, your reflexes are pretty garbage, man. I saw him before you even did.
the 6v6 map. So I got to play 3 different 6v6 maps: Miami, Moscow, and Satellite, and I liked all 3 of them.
It was
That is
just an alpha.
really, really rare at a pre-event. Now, the interesting thing about these maps is they're not really 3-lane maps. Like going back to like Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 2, most of the maps are 3-lane maps
Christ.
with a couple of
He melted him
lines
from
going
that
down through the
bar.
middle, kind of like a capital H. And with this, it's very straightforward. Almost all of the maps play the same, and they work. There's good flow to them as long as there's good flank routes and things along those lines. All of the maps that we played, especially the 3v3 maps, not like this whatsoever. Completely different, tons of flank routes, which can be annoying.
would you use a
but
shotgun
for me,
from that
it
range?
actually kind of worked. Now, I have to say, when we were playing against pro players, really good Call of Duty YouTubers, things along those lines. So the lobbies were really sweaty. That's why the
What did you expect? You're playing against fucking COD League players, bro. What did you expect? These guys play for money. They play for championship rings. And then there's guys who play for money and play for views. These guys are going to be sweating their nuts off. They're so used to sweating their nuts off. That's just how they play now. What were you expecting?
gameplay you're watching isn't like a 5 to 6 kill death gameplay. It's probably about a 1 kill death gameplay. Now, the thing about playing with good
And I don't
players
think
is that
anybody
most of the
would
time they
care if
rush
you were
around
doing
and play
good or
really
bad. We
aggressive.
just wanted to see
So it's hard to
gameplay
tell
of this
whether or
new
not
game
when
that
these
hasn't
maps
came out
actually come
yet.
out in the beta and when the game actually comes out, if they'll play as aggressively and if these non-3-lane maps will work as well as when we played them. So my opinion on that might change, but we'll have to wait and see. But for now, I really enjoyed the maps. The next thing is the time to kill. So the time to kill is longer.
Here we
It's
go.
almost as long as Black Ops 4's, and it's definitely longer than Modern Warfare. I would say
you know
about
what?
2 bullets.
Okay, so I've been doing this Cold War prep, trying to prepare myself for this game, and I've been playing Black Ops 4, and he just said it's not as long as Black Ops 4. So, you know what that means, right? No more Cold War Sight. Nah, we're still going to be playing Black Ops 4. We got to get used to that system or whatever, but that just makes it easier for me because I'm already used to the TTK on BO4, and I can get around it. I've been dropping 28 and 6 and going pretty positive with Excision, and I am pretty used to it by now. So I think I'll do pretty good in this game once the game comes out. So that just makes it that's some good news to hear that it's not as long as Black Ops 4's, but it's a little longer than Modern Warfare's, which is okay. But I'm seeing him melt people, so I'm not too worried. Not anymore.
Longer that you have to put into people. Now, personally, I actually like a longer time to kill. I know this is not everyone's cup of tea, and
I
a
know.
lot of people, if you
Even though
don't
I'm
like a
pretty
longer
good, I
time to
don't.
kill, once the game comes out, just play hardcore, and then you have that really quick time to kill. I know you won't have the aim
Or
out and stuff like that.
just
but personally, I like
adapt.
the longer time to kill. I think it adds more weapon skill. The person who is better with a weapon will generally win that gunfight when that time to kill is longer. So I do like that. I don't think everyone will. Speaking of something that I don't think everyone will like, and this is probably the most controversial thing, but I'm putting it on my like list, is score streaks. So the new score streak system is certainly interesting.
I don't know. I have to try it
makes
out for
so that
myself
your
to
score
develop an
streaks still
opinion on the
stack
score
when you
streak
die.
system.
And as you get a higher kill streak, now I have a whole video about this if you want to check it out. As you get a higher kill streak, you get a score multiplier. So if you're on a 60 kill streak, you get about 6,000 score per kill, which means you can get a chopper
come
gunner
on,
in
Ink. You can't
literally
snipe,
one
bruh.
kill. So I really do think that there is definitely going to be
Come
a
on,
skill
Ink.
gap in earning those
What are you
higher
shooting
kill
at,
streaks,
bruh?
because they're not easy to get. A 6,000 point chopper gunner
Looking at his
is going to
gameplay,
take you
bro.
some time. It's going to take some grinding, and it's going to take going on some kill streaks.
There we
And it's
are.
going to be interesting.
Good
so
boy.
if you're hating on it and you haven't played the game yet, give it a chance. Play the beta. It's an open beta, so
I mean,
you
that's
can do
exactly
it for
what
free
everybody was
and
planning
see
on
what you
doing.
think about it. I think some of you aren't going to like it. I'm just going to straight up say that. But personally, I think it's a pretty good way of speeding up gameplay and making rushers and people who play the objective rewarded a little bit more. So
word?
for me, it's a thumbs up. But we're going to have to wait and see once the public gets their hand on it what it's actually going to look like in practice. Now, the final thing that I wanted to address before we get into the bad stuff is I've heard a lot of people say they don't like the look of the game. Now,
I don't either, but it's just not an issue. Like, it's not really a game deciding thing. I mean, it looks cartoony and looks different. That's Treyarch's style, but I'm not going to say, man, it doesn't look cool. I'm not going to buy it. It's just not important, you know? So, it's really not a game decision-making thing.
will say just straight up, I think one, the animations in the game, and two, the audio in the game are not as good as Modern Warfare. I get that, and when I first saw Modern Warfare, when we went to the studio to check it out, the team that worked on the animations and worked on the weapon sounds was so proud of what they did. Because if you look at Modern Warfare as a game, the jump in weapon animations and weapon sounds is a huge, huge leap from the previous game. And
Modern Warfare
it's probably
sounded
one of the
and looked
biggest leaps that
amazing.
we've ever seen. And I
That is
truly
why I
believe that
grinded
the
it
weapon
the way
animations
I
and
did.
the weapon sounds aren't as good as Modern
Because
Warfare.
I just love
To me,
the
that's not a
feeling
huge
of
deal.
realism.
Yeah, it's
I like the immersion. I like the feeling that I'm actually in combat. I like the visuals. That's why I just kept coming back to Modern Warfare no matter how much it keep beating me, you know? It's like a domestic violence case, you know?
sucks a little bit. That being said, I haven't played it on PS5, so maybe that'll change once it's on the next gen consoles. The other thing that people are saying is that the graphics
He has a point
aren't as
there.
good. I don't necessarily agree with that. The one thing that Treyarch always does is they generally have more bright and vibrant colors, and the other thing that people are saying is that the graphics aren't as good.
Didn't he just talk about this like a minute ago? But graphically, just look at it. It doesn't look too bad. It looks like a remastered Black Ops 1, and it looks better. That obviously looks better than Black Ops 1. So, I mean, I like this. I like the way it looks. It's not as realistic as Infinity Ward's games, but I still like the visuals and the graphics.
Don't necessarily agree with that.
Me
The
neither.
one thing that Treyarch always does is they generally have more bright and vibrant colors, and their games are a little bit more cartoony. If you look at Black Ops 3 and compare
Like
it
I mentioned before, on my one of my videos, I mentioned this map right here on the left about the little picnic and you're a little soldier running around on a table full of snacks and grills, and this is what I'm talking about right here. So, like he said, bro. Listen, just listen.
to Modern Warfare, there is very clearly quite a large difference here. And Treyarch has kind of always gone with this more cartoony style, more bright colors, more saturated.
It all started on Black
Personally,
Ops 2,
I
if
like
you
that.
didn't
I
know.
find it easier to spot people on a map, and I don't mind it. I like that there's a difference between the style of Treyarch and Infinity Ward, because it kind of gives us a break from one or the other year to year, and I kind of like that. And to be honest, I almost prefer the more cartoony style. Now, I don't think
That's his
everyone
opinion.
will. A lot of people like really realistic shooter games, and I understand that. Maybe you're one of those people. So
I am.
I could get how you could kind of be a little bit frustrated with that because.
But I'm not
this
frustrated
game
with this.
does
Actually,
look
I'm not.
more cartoony. That's the best way I can describe it. So for me, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think for some people it will be. Now, the next thing that I'm not necessarily sold on is the larger team games. So the 12v12 combined arms team games. Now, the first one that we played here is on the map called Armada, and it's the boat one. This one I didn't mind. I didn't think it was a bad map. It was interesting and it plays different. Now, the problem I have with combined arms is there is no way to squad spawn. You can't pick a flag to spawn on, so you're always caught spawning at the very back of the map.
That's going to be an issue because if you're like at one part of the map and that's where all the action is and you die and you just spawn at a random location, how long is it going to take you to get back to that action? That's going to be a problem. Treyarch, look into that.
In your team's spawn. And what this does is make it very easy for people just to be able to spawn trap you. This
Yep,
was
that
actually
too.
the case on both combined
Spawn trapping is the number one reason why people rage quit.
arms maps, not just Armada. And this is a big problem because it, one, slows down the game if you have to spawn all the way at the back every single time. You're
Like
not
I just
right
said.
into the action. The other problem with it is if you're playing against a good team, you are screwed. Just plain and simple. So I think that game mode specifically.
Believe me,
needs
I'm a
to be
Battlefield
tweaked
player as
in
well,
that
and this
way. I think
happens
I will
all the
enjoy it
time.
much more if they add that, and it'll speed up the game, and to me, it will just make it better. So hopefully they add that, and then I can get a better opinion on combined arms. But as of right now, that's kind of my thought on it. Now, the other thing with combined arms, and I think another reason why I don't love it as much, is the vehicles. So I like vehicles
The
like the
vehicles?
snowmobile or the Ski-Doo jet ski, that kind of thing, where it just kind of gets you from point A to point B quicker. You can run people over. I like that. What I don't like is these vehicles that have really, really powerful weapons on them. On Armada, it was a boat with a machine gun on it. It was really powerful. You were kind of covered and you could shoot at people. You could go right into their spawn, wait for them to go on the zip line, and just spray them down. I didn't love that. That one
Well,
was
that's why you
okay, but I
snipe 'em.
didn't love that. On the other map, on Crossroads, there were tanks. Tanks were so good. It was an immediate one-shot kill if they even shot in your vicinity. They were honestly Modern Warfare tanks on steroids, and I didn't like that whatsoever. I'm not a big fan of vehicles in multiplayer games. I'm just not. If I'm playing Ground War and Modern Warfare, I'll probably play Boots on the
No, I
Ground
have something
War.
to say about
It's
this
just
tank
my
statement.
opinion.
Just give me a minute.
For sure, some people are going to disagree with me. Some people like the Battlefield style play with all of the vehicles in it. It's just not my cup of tea. Now, if they are going to leave vehicles in there and they're not going to make it so that there's a separate playlist in a combined arms without them, especially the tank needs to be nerfed.
Ink. Think about this for a second. Maybe, just maybe, that is why it's a tank? Maybe that's because that's its sole purpose? To be powerful? And not to be weak enough to be defeated by one soldier? Think about it. World at War did this fine. There were tanks on there, and they would one-shot you at like a large vicinity. And it worked. Think about it. They they have experience with tanks. They know how to work with tanks. Trust Treyarch on this. Usually I say never trust Treyarch, but trust them when it comes to tanks. They've done this before back in World at War.
Tank
And if you want to say Black Ops 3 with those little mechs, then yeah, go ahead.
is insanely good. You're instantly dead if someone in a tank sees you, and I'm just not a fan of that.
That's because you're a soldier versus a tank. What do you think the fucking outcome is gonna be, man? Like, it's a tank. It's a tank, bruh. It's a tank. It's about like 6 tons. It's made out of pure metal. It has large, high explosives or armor-piercing shells. Come on, man.
So that is the other thing that I think needs to be changed. Just tone.
It's not going to be changed. They shouldn't change it. Let Infinity Ward, or I mean, my bad. Let Treyarch do their thing. They know what they're doing with these tanks. They did it with World at War, and if you want to count Black Ops 3, they did it in Black Ops 3 as well. Just let them do their thing. Oh, and not to forget, Call of Duty 3.
Tone down those vehicles a little bit. So as far
No.
as my play experience goes, and
Shut the
this
fuck up.
very well may change once I play against some players who aren't cracked out of their mind, and live streamers and pro players and stuff like that. I think for now I'll
Cracked out of their mind, bro. That's hilarious. I like that word. Cracked out of their mind.
probably mostly be sticking to 6v6 games. I like the maps better, no vehicles. It just flowed better for me. Now, the one thing I will say about 6v6 is we didn't really play any small maps. Like, Satellite was a smaller map and it was more action-filled, but it was.
Okay, look, I'm looking at how he was destroying that boat. He shot a rocket at it and took a huge chunk out of that boat. Then he started shooting it with a 40-round mag and the AK-74, so it's chambered in a 7.62, I believe. And it destroyed the boat. So, I mean, if the boat is that weak, shit, it's not. The vehicles are not a problem. It's gonna work the same in Modern Warfare when you how to destroy vehicles. So why is the tank a problem? I mean, maybe because I haven't experienced it yet. We'll see when the beta comes out, though.
Wasn't a small map. There wasn't anything like Nuketown. Now, the odds that we get Nuketown in this game, I think, are probably pretty high. But I
Yep.
still would like to see some more really small maps like Shoot House, maybe not Shipment, but around that size with really, really high action, Nuketown sized. And hopefully we get a couple
They're
of
going
those
to add
at launch, or
Nuketown.
maybe even in the beta, because I'm kind of missing those super fast-paced maps. Now, the last thing that I am questioning before we get into one or two more good things is the perk Ninja. So I think they did a really good job with Ghost. Ghost is the kind of older school or newer school. I don't even know the way you describe it anymore, but it's the type of Ghost where if you stop moving, then you show up on the map. So Ghost is really going to only work for people who are actually rushing and moving around. And there's a little bit more leeway in this game so that if you kind of just stop moving for 1 or 2 seconds, you're not going to show up.
When was this in a Call of Duty? I've played every single Call of Duty since Call of Duty 4, Call of Duty World at War, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, all the way up to Modern Warfare. But I did take that break in between after Black Ops 2. So, after Black Ops 2, I played a little bit of Ghost and Advanced Warfare. I didn't play Black Ops 3. I didn't play Infinite Warfare that much. So, when was this a thing between that time period? Like, was it in that period right there between Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare? Or you could call it the boost jump era or whatever. Because I do not remember when you stood still, you would pop up on the map.
But if you're sitting in a room, not moving, crouching, you will be on that mini-map. And I really like that system of Ghost. Now, instead of Dead Silence, they have a perk called Ninja. Now, Ninja doesn't make your footsteps silent. It makes them quieter while sprinting. And from my
Okay. that takes some stress off my back. Thank you. So, instead of being absolutely silent, you're fucking just quieter while sprinting. So I'm pretty sure that your footsteps are still loud while walking.
experience, someone with Ninja is still really easy to hear. So, if they're going to do it this way, and it seems like that's what they're going to do, you're still going to be able to hear footsteps, but they're going to be quieter with Ninja. I think they need to tone them down just a little bit. So,
No! Come on, Ink, bro! Oh! Tone them down? What do you mean? Why would you want them to be dead silent? That's just gonna catch too many people off guard, bro. Like, oh my god, look, this is gonna be the scenario, okay? You're running the wild card that allows you to have 6 perks. You have Ghost and Ninja in those 6 perks. You're sprinting all over the map with like a knife or maybe a shield on your back. You know what I'm talking about. And you catch a dude sniping in a tower or he's holding down a certain route and you get behind him and he finishes you because you didn't hear him nor see him on the map. That's going to happen over and over and over again. Come on, man.
That they're difficult to hear, and maybe you can only hear them if you are standing still. And that's not the way it was for me. They were still really easy to hear with the Perk Ninja. So I think that'll take some fine-tuning, and maybe once the beta comes out and they get more feedback, that's when they can make a decision on that. Now, the other two things that a lot of people have been talking about is a lot of people were wondering about weapon inspections and executions. I can tell you for sure Activision has literally reached out and told us this, that they were not in the build of the game that we played, but executions and weapon inspects will return. I don't know if that's going to be in the beta or the final build of the game, but they are coming back.
I mean, I was
They are
surprised.
gonna be there. A lot of people were
At least that
disappointed
confirms
that
it
they
for
weren't
me.
in the build of the game, but they are. Now, the other thing that I have big questions about, and I think it's going to drastically change the way this game plays, is the leveling system. Now, this isn't something that people think about right away, but is it going to be a prestige style system? Is it going to be a season based system? What is the max level going to be? How is it going to work with Warzone? There's all these questions left with that leveling.
I have an idea. How about you raise the level cap to from 155 to 300? How will that work?
System, and it's big for the game. One thing that I've been missing out this year is the completionist challenges. Now, you do have the challenges every single season that you can go for, but the things like the 100%er from previous Treyarch games, the things that you could really go for and grind for, I miss those. And hopefully something like that will return. Generally, I like to say that Treyarch does a little bit better of a job with their challenges and weapon camos and things like that than Infinity Ward does. So that's something big that I'm love to see.
I'm not gonna cap, bro. Like Infinity Ward's camos were pretty trash, unless you had like a cool blueprint.
Weapon camos. Weapon camos are generally speaking something they don't really show until the games actually launch, so I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see that in the beta, but I'm excited for that. And as we get more information on all of this, of course, I will keep you guys updated. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you do so. We've got plenty more Black Ops Cold War content coming. We've got Season 6 of Modern Warfare right around the corner. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'm curious what your guys' opinions are on the game so far, so let me know down.
Okay, now that I heard this video, it's time to hear my real opinion on Black Ops Cold War. Honestly, I'm not skeptical anymore. I'm very eager to play this game. I'm really eager to try it out because I've seen a lot of gameplay. I've heard a lot of these people talk about their opinions and have their point of views out. And I've heard people talk about who actually played the alpha. And I'm like, you know what? This game sounds kind of interesting. Let me give it a try and then let me see if it'll sell me. Because right now I'm not sold. What sold me for Modern Warfare last year was its reveal trailer for the multiplayer with the Metallica going on, and it was pretty sick. And I was like, "Damn, I'm gonna pre-order this game." But this one, no, I'm not sold on the reveal trailer. So I still need to try out the game for myself. If I'm gonna buy this game, I need to like it. Right now, I'm still like not skeptical, but more curious to try it out. So far, I like the guns. I like the layout. I like the fonts is like the way the fonts look. It looks pretty basic, but at the same time, it works for that time period that it's based in. The maps look interesting. I'm really eager to play that Miami map. I'm really eager to see the guns, try out the guns, see how the whole game feels, and I'm very eager to try out this game. So the word I'm looking for is eager to try. So last year it was skeptical. This year it's eager to try. So now that I'm playing Black Ops 4, getting ready to play this game, I think I'll be ready for that beta. So thanks for watching me go over this video from Inkslasher. Shout out to Inkslasher for making this video, and I don't know what I was gonna say, but yeah, man, I'll link this video on my description for those who want to see the OG video from Inkslasher. Again, thanks for coming out and watching me. And I got a Black Ops 2 reminisce video coming up, so stay tuned for that. See you later. Good night. Good morning, wherever you are.